Hey, MK.
Yes.
Did you fix your computer?
Yes.
Well, apparently not, because it took us 45 minutes to get this podcast episode going.
It's not. It wasn't my computer. Okay. It was Audacity.
Mm-hmm.
A separate issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because Audacity had been giving me problems even before my computer broke.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the TFI podcast, episode 10, recording on the very last week of February.
Yeah. This is how you can tell I'm back on the show, is because we're recording so last minute. Fun fact: this is actually our second take, because Audacity was giving me problems. So we recorded about 10 minutes, maybe. And then I went, we gotta do this whole thing over again.
Yeah, no, there was enough for a whole half a podcast.
But okay, no, there wasn't that much. But.
I like butts.
Sam did forget the intro, so it's better that we restarted. We started, we were talking, and then I went, "Did you ever say hello?" And he went,
We are total professionals here, to be honest, like complete professionals. So, first of all, we'll get one thing out of the way. Yes, The Hunter was just released, but we want to get Cooler right on for that, because he was the co-writer and co-director for that, and he's not available tonight.
Yes, we were going to have him on this episode, and then we forgot to schedule it until the last week, because we do that. And yeah, Cooler wouldn't be able to make it, so we want to make sure he's on the episode where we talk about it. So he'll be the guest next month.
Definitely. But one thing I do want to bring up very quick, and this is my technically second time grilling you about this, because in the first take, but with your computer back, what's your status on the comic dub?
Well, as I mentioned on the first take, now that I'm back with my computer, I can get back to working on it. However, there's been another unfortunate lull in the or another unfortunate just like delay in the dub, and that is that we had to recast Carly. So I've been trying to find a new actress for that, which I have an idea on who I'm gonna get, but I'll save that for when the episode comes out.
Well, see, because here's the thing: you're reading the issues as you work on the dubs, and issue 5 just came out, and it pains me to know that you're not reading peak fiction.
Yeah. I will. I mean, no, I will start reading them once I get through. Which is funny because I'm reading. Okay, you're not reading the G.I. Joe stuff, I assume.
No, I'm not.
You should, because it's very connected. In
I
fact,
know.
something. Okay, since Cobra Commander dropped a few months ago, am I good to talk spoilers about that?
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, I know nothing about it, but I'm not going to throw a fit.
Well, I was gonna say, there's a big thing in Cobra Commander that is building up for Transformers. And it's really funny reading Cobra Commander and then not reading Transformers and being like, oh god, how is this? So, I mean, do you want me to say the thing, Sam?
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Okay. Megatron is in Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
So
I knew that.
You need to read Cobra Commander.
I mean, I'm reading a bunch of comics right now, because I'm reading the new Skybound, and I'm reading the new Ultimate Spider-Man, and I still have not touched IDW's last run of Beast Wars.
As much as that's a good run, I suggest, because Skybound's long running right now and it's all intertwined, I suggest starting it now when you only have 2 issues of Duke, 2 issues of Cobra Commander, and like 6 issues of Void Rivals, because I don't think it's just going to get harder to do, and this is the perfect starting point, because it's going to get to the point where they start connecting a lot, and you're going to be like, shit, do I really have the ability to read 10 G.I. Joe comics right now? Might as well just start while you're doing it now, you know?
That's fair. I still gotta pick. I mean, I still gotta pick up Ultimate Spider-Man issue 2, because I've been enjoying that as well. But you know, issue 5 of Transformers just dropped, and I love it so much, and I can't wait for the 6th one. In fact, I want to start taking a lot of inspiration for the writing in the comic book for films.
Wow, Sam more things for Sam to just rip for his films.
See, you said that in the first take, so I can't be offended this time.
Well, you could pretend to be offended.
I am kidding.
I also, you gave away that I'm not so witty this time around, because before I guess I was a bit. But I'm just copying my own joke.
It's true. Nah. But I mean, for an example, I'm currently scripting a brand new TFI project, and there's one scene that I'm taking from issue 5 of the new comic book and kind of translating it into the context of the film that I'm currently working on. And I would like to talk about some details about this film that I'm working on, because it took some inspiration from something you had done not too long ago. And
Welcome to TFI, where nothing we make is original.
Hey, we're at a point now where everything's been done. Just have fun with it. But a while ago, you made an alternate ending to the '07 film.
Yes.
And now Age of Extinction came out 10 years ago this year. Mm-hmm. And when it did, friend Carlos, who you guys know as the co-creator for Hearts of Steel, he pitched to me an idea that he felt was a wasted potential in Age of Extinction. So with all this inspiration coming up, and some other close friends have pitched some ideas, I want to make the original ending to Dark of the Moon and show how that would affect Age of Extinction.
So instead of working on the series like Nest or things that we've been planned for years, you go, oh, let's just do this other thing impromptu.
Well, because I want to work on something small. And this is not going to be a big project, although I say that about every single project.
No. I pretty sure Finest Hour was originally meant to be small.
Yeah, well, Finest Hour went through a ton of rewrites over like 3 years. But the thing is, after every collaborative
Gigawatt
project...
was supposed to be small.
Oh, dear God.
Now look at where we are.
Now Gigawatt 4 is like our big thing. So, because the thing with me is, after a collaborative project, I like to work on something solo for a bit. And the Dark of the Moon original ending is something that I feel I could work on between now and summertime.
After a collaborative project, I like to work on something solo. So I'm working on something that was pitched to me by 3 different people.
Shut up. Hey, it just means I get to choose which ideas go in, and then there's no friction about it. Yeah, so... I mean, to be fair though, what TFI project hasn't come out that's gotten influence from other people?
That's what I'm saying. Welcome to TFI, where Sam doesn't do anything on his own anymore.
I mean, I'm glad it's at that point, to be honest. Because now I was gonna say, because between the release of The Hunter and Gigawatt 4, nothing's been confirmed, and I have always wanted to do the Dark of the Moon original ending. And I read the novelization of Dark of the Moon, that just the very end.
It means you listened to an audiobook.
No, I actually read the last few pages. There was no audiobook. I looked for an audiobook. I'm like, you know what? Last 3 pages, here we go. Original ending. And I liked the dialogue, and I liked how it went, and I thought to myself, how would that affect Age of Extinction? And then in classic ADHD format, I began to hyperfocus. And I can't get the idea out of my head, so I got to get that sweet dopamine hit and actually like make it. So, and to say one thing, because this is something that I would show in the trailers. Now we know in Age of Extinction, KSI is trying to build their own Optimus named Galvatron, but Megatron's evil, nasty chromosomes infected it. What would have happened?
Why can't we make what we want to make the way we want to make?
Why? Now, what would have happened if Megatron's chromosomes didn't infect it? They would have made Optimus.
Yeah, but they also wouldn't have had all the body parts to use, because the key point was these little Megatron pieces.
It's little Megatron pieces.
Yeah.
Because I had the idea, because this was an idea Carlos pitched a long time ago. He says it would have made more sense if they made Nemesis Prime. So that's kind of what I want to do, where Dark of the Moon Optimus.
Deep breaths, MK. Don't insult Sam again on his own podcast. This is like the
Do it.
third
Go on,
time.
do it. Go on. Oh, Sam doing Nemesis Prime again?
Welcome
What
to
a
TFI,
surprise!
where we do Nemesis Prime for the 10th million time in a row.
You say that, but Nemesis Prime has literally only appeared in the OG Interstellar and the remake.
Legend exists.
What? No, he wasn't in that.
Oh, I guess you're right. That's just a prequel, so it doesn't.
He wasn't Nemesis Prime in that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're
Part of
cheating.
me wants to say finest hour through the technicality of that is still the same character as Nemesis Prime.
See, I'm getting ready to attack you if you say Scourge in Hearts of Steel.
I wouldn't say Scourge because Scourge is a different character than Nemesis Prime.
Thank you. Tell that to half of the community.
Sorry, let me rephrase. Oh, look, TFI doing evil or morally gray Optimus again. My bad, not Nemesis.
No.
Evil Optimus.
But this is going to take a lot of inspiration from the Prime episode because KSI's sort of Galvatron / Nemesis Prime will be controlled by the humans still. And I thought it could be really neat to have like a Nemesis Prime team up with Stinger and Lockdown to fight Optimus and Megatron and kind of see how that would go.
I would also think it'd be cool if like I don't know what you're doing with this, but like have it where Optimus, like Lockdown would be going for Megatron and Optimus.
Mm-hmm.
I'd assume. And so I think that would be a cool dynamic instead of just Optimus Prime. It's like, no, there's two people he's hunting now.
Yeah. And like I was thinking of an idea. Now, for those listening, nothing here is set in stone yet. I don't know exactly what we're going to... I just have notes and, like, 2 pages of a script.
This is the TFI creative process where we just kind of say things and then we watch the film and we're like, oh, what did actually come to paper and what did actually go to script and what just stayed in our brains.
So, I had the idea that, like, after Megatron and Optimus make their truce in Dark of the Moon, they wouldn't talk to each other for quite a while. Because in the novelization, they kind of go their separate ways. I was thinking it cuts to years later. It's during the time of Age of Extinction, and Megatron starts hunting Optimus again. And Optimus is like, "Why are you hunting me again? We had a truce." And Megatron goes, "Because you've been killing my Decepticons." And it's actually been Nemesis Prime the whole time. But Megatron thinks it's Optimus, so that can create some conflict there. And Lockdown comes in.
Yeah,
you know?
I was going to say, also, Megatron not being dead doesn't stop Cemetery Wind. A lot of humans still died in Chicago. I think it actually... Okay. I don't know if you'll actually tie into this, but I think Optimus sparing Megatron gives more justification to Cemetery Wind.
Yes, I'm doing that. Okay. That's exactly what...
Because, like, how would the humans react if the man who was... Obviously, Sentinel had a huge play in it, but the man who was responsible for killing thousands in Chicago and just during the events, Optimus just went, yeah, you get to go free.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's in my notes, and that's what I do want to do. Is that Cemetery Wind and like the CIA are even more annoyed at Prime for just letting Megatron live and go free, just like wander the Earth.
Yeah.
And so I actually bought a bunch of little like mega constructs, like military guys, to actually properly incorporate humans into this story. I bought little military vehicles like tanks and Hummers that can actually like chase these characters, and this will be the first TFI film that will have like prominent human interaction. There was a little bit of that in Bumblebee.
I was about to say Bumblebee World War II.
Yeah, there was a little bit in Bumblebee World War II, but those humans got axed off in the first like 2 minutes.
There's also human interaction in another film, but you don't see There's two other films that had human interaction, but they were off screen or they were in, like, I know Mexico City, they were all in vehicles. And then they were little non-articulated army men in The Legend Exists.
Yes. There's been a lot of human implications, and sometimes they're on screen.
Because of the implication.
What?
That's a quote. If you understand that joke in the audience, I'll appreciate you. I know Matt will. I know Matt, our favorite listener, will.
Our favorite listener. Matt, you missed your exit. And so, I want to kind of have a more prominent human interaction in this and actually have like these little like mega constructs, like military guys come in and join the fight with like Nemesis Prime and Stinger. And it'll still follow the whole thing that like KSI is making these robots, but the robots are being used to wipe out the Transformers still on Earth. And Lockdown's like, just do what you want, I don't give a shit. And
you went almost crosshairs with that.
hello, Jujubee. And it's gonna be fun because it's like it's gonna keep all the design aesthetics, like Dark of the Moon Optimus with the abs. He's still gonna have that design. It's still gonna be Dark of the Moon Megs, and we get to see them, fight these Age of Extinction designs. And the Nemesis Prime I'm going to be using, there's a third-party company, or a KO company, that took the Studio Series Optimus and repainted it as Nemesis Prime. So I have that on the way. And
I was going to say, you could get even more meta and just make Night Optimus Nemesis.
So that was an idea too. But it was pitched to me that, like, if we still do the Dark of the Moon one, he could have the Sword of Judgment that maybe Lockdown gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. That's still up in the air.
I don't see Lockdown giving a random human built.
I trust your species is ready. Have the Sword of Judgment.
Yeah. Even though I see you guys like contracts and you expire, I'm going to give you this ancient relic.
And so it's not going to delve into every single aspect of Age of Extinction. Like, I don't have plans for the Dinobots or anything like that because I just don't see the story going there. But it will still follow characters.
You're not going to include Kay Yeager? You're not going to include... I think we just found a
Transformer. But, like, I want to show some characters that could have maybe keep alive. Like, I'm keeping around Sideswipe. That's for sure. Dino can appear. Bumblebee will. I'm debating if I want to keep Bumblebee in his Camaro, in like the modern Camaro, or if I still want him to go to that like 70s Camaro, like the all black one.
My only counterpoint, is there any good toys of the 70s one?
Well, see, I like the original AOE version that came out.
Did you ever get the Dark of the Moon Studio Series Sideswipe?
Yes, I did.
Oh, because of me.
Yeah, literally because of you, yeah. And I was thinking we could bring back Steven.
Yeah, I know. I was informed. Steven told me.
For God's sake, Steven, stop telling him I'm getting my stuff. There's a scene that's almost one-to-one to a scene from Mexico City.
That was what he told me. How does it go? Like,
I'm telling you, I was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
How prominent is Sideswipe going to be in this?
I would like to make him like a more fleshed out character.
Everything you do with Sideswipe runs through me. You got it.
Okay, yeah, I know that. I have to run something through you because I don't know how you feel about it. There's like a tiny moment in the written script already where Sideswipe gets slightly sentimental, and then Bumblebee quotes the movie Watchmen, and he goes, I've never known you to be sentimental. Let's see if you like it. But yeah, no, I'll run the script by you. But this is definitely something that I want to get started on ASAP because I love Dark of the Moon, and Age of Extinction's 10th anniversary is coming up. And just for reference, I will be using all Studio Series figures for this because they all scale pretty well. One thing I can't use, though, because I find I use them too much in movie prequels now, is I can't keep using the movie 1 drones. They appear in so much.
Were the movie one? Were any of them in Origins Unknown?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They've appeared.
They were in Origins Unknown. They were in Finest Hour.
Origins Unknown. Finest Hour. All of them were in The Hunter. The only like one that wasn't in The Hunter is I didn't use the Dreadwing one. I used the Overcast one, which is like the black and green. Yeah.
I have a silly little story about Overcast here. This is completely off topic, but while I couldn't talk about this on the January podcast because, well, my computer was deep fried, but while in the month of January, I actually went to the great state of Wisconsin to visit a friend of mine, to visit Mr. Infinite Stevos, or Big Green, or as we refer to him, Gavin. So I visited him for a couple days, and we went to his local like toy store, and I get distracted by the Transformers Cybertron toys because I'm nostalgic for the Unicron trilogy, and I see him, he points something out to me, and I immediately go, oh, sweet, I'll buy it. He goes, no, I'm getting this for myself. And I went, huh? He found an in-package Overcast from Movie One.
Oh my god.
And he sniped it from me. Well, technically, he found it first. We didn't snipe it from me. He found it first. I tried to get him to be like, please, let me buy this. And I need to be saying, I never owned Overcast as a kid. The reason why I'm so bitter about this, and why this is a story on the podcast, is as a child, I had a cousin who, I got him into Transformers pretty young too, and he had an Overcast. And I remember being very jealous of his Overcast, at the point where I wanted to trade some of my figures for his Overcast, and his parents wouldn't let me. And I was kind of sad about that. And every time we'd hang out and we'd visit each other's house and vice versa, I'd see his Overcast and I'd want it. And so it's been a weird grail of mine because of the fact that as a kid, I just always wanted this Overcast, and my cousin always had it. I was like, oh, one day he will be mine. And then finally, I see him in person in this collectible store, and Gavin just goes, yeah, he's mine now.
Do you know how I got mine?
Yes, didn't you get yours through Carlos?
Yeah, Carlos was like,
I'm aware.
This. He's like, I'll give you this if you put it in Maverick.
I didn't even find out about him putting him up for sale until after he had already promised him to you. Overcast is this Transformer that keeps slipping out of my grasp.
Yeah, I love the one-eyed drones because they're so easy to motion track the eyes. Because it's just the one. But I've used them too much. I've used them way too much, and I thought about bringing them in for the Dark of the Moon original ending as more Decepticons. I'm like, no, I can't keep using them. They're gonna get so repetitive. So I might just bring in like the Dreads and some of the Constructicons.
The Dreads. I'm like, you could also use like Nitro Zeus, Mohawk, things like that.
Yeah, I've been looking at the shelves and like what like Decepticon characters I have, and I honestly wish Bayverse had some like female Decepticons.
Well, according to Toy Leaks, you will be getting that soon.
What?
Yeah.
Widowmaker. That was a concept character, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. And I was thinking like more Decepticons we could use are obviously Barricade, because he stays around, and I do want this to be stated. I am not making this as a sort of a remake of Age of Extinction. I'm not doing this to think, oh, I could do better. That's never a thought process when doing these projects. I love how Dark of the Moon ended, time to find out, and King kills Megatron. I still love that, and Age of Extinction has such a special place in my heart for me, because AoE is what got me back into Transformers 10 years ago. It was that exact movie.
I fully get that process of like, oh, I'm just doing this alternate ending for fun. It's not. I hate comments I get on my '07 film alternate ending where they're like, this is what the ending should have been. This is a better ending. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a better ending. The whole point is just I was having fun with it. It is. No.
Yeah. See, that's my whole motive with the original ending and then the new opening to Age of Extinction, because it's fun. It's fun to think, oh, like where could it have gone if this original ending did exist? I never make these because I think I can do better. Because, like I said, I love AoE. It's got such a special place in my heart, and I would love to see how that could have gone. And these aren't meant to be replacements, because there have been times where someone has asked or commented, Sam, will like you and the team ever remake the Bay films? And I'm like, no, because we love them. Like, we can agree that some, these films have some flaws, and we can point out things we like and don't like. But I like to think like, what. Because if you look at all the concept art for Age of Extinction, all the concept art of Optimus is still his Dark of the Moon mode. So, they were kind of considering that, or at least they didn't have the night design done at the time. And it just makes me think, like, how would that have looked? That Optimus versus, Lockdown and Stinger. And it could be so... It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, because I was saying this to some friends the other day. I miss the Bayverse. Like, I miss being excited for Bayverse films. I miss, watching the film and just... loving them. Like, I still love them, but they feel like something way from the past now. And
me with the Unicron trilogy.
I've been tempted to watch that.
Didn't you start Armada?
No,
Oh.
I've thought about it.
Let me know when you start it.
Now going back to designs real quick, I'm torn on one thing. Do I still like should Nemesis Prime transform like Galvatron, like the particles?
If you can pull it off, I think so.
Well, I sort of attempted that in The Legend Exists. But yeah, I'm thinking like, because it would make sense because all the KSI drones transform in that sort of particle
Yeah,
way.
I think, especially now, I think you could pull it off.
I think I could. I think I could. I'm currently scripting that project. I'm looking forward to actually making it, seeing how it turns out. I can't wait for this 10-minute project to turn into a 2-hour project because it's just, yeah.
I feel like this podcast has a very terrible representation of our relationship because I feel like I'm overly mean to you on this podcast when...
On the podcast? Just the podcast?
I feel like publicly I come off as very mean to you.
Publicly? You are horrible to me. I've never felt so unloved in my entire life. By someone who keeps telling me I'm one of their best friends. No.
And this is where I get evicted from my own podcast.
Yes, it is. It most definitely is. No, see, the funny thing is, guys, if MK was to actually compliment me, I'd throw up.
I compliment you all the time.
I throw up all the time.
What do you mean? Don't make people think that. What are you talking about?
I love that. Don't make people think that.
Listen,
I gotta make people.
I know I can be a dick sometimes, but come on.
I gotta make people pity me, so when we eventually take sides, Like,
what? Are you planning for a civil war?
yes.
TFI podcast episode 11, the Civil War.
Episode 12 is just me.
So just episode 9 again.
Yep.
Because you'll get a replacement guest. This is where we just get Trans to be the permanent replacement guest.
Yeah, bring in the Spooky D-Man all the time.
Yeah.
Oh god, no, that reminds me.
That was my favorite episode of the podcast because I wasn't in it.
Yeah, I bet. Spooky D-Man has been asking me like, when is Steel Jaws,
Yeah.
being made. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to get into the water in -10-degree weather.
Coward. Damn, I really am mean.
See, even you hear it now. Once the nice warm weather comes, I can get to work on Steel Jaws. That script is more than 3/4 done, and I actually sent it to Trans so he can like go over it because I know he likes stuff like that.
Were there any questions on the last month's episode?
Shock asked a question, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Is what was the most challenging film to make?
I feel like every time a new film comes out, that is the most challenging.
Yes, a lot of films have their own, like, unique challenges, but there were two films that kind of fell into the same category of challenging, and it was more in the technical aspect, and that being both Maverick and Hearts of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge came from, with Maverick, how the hell do you film in the style that we do these planes flying? So, the drone footage and the green screening and wearing a green glove while holding these planes on a stick.
I feel like you pulled it off really well. There's that one shot that every time, I feel like everyone references it, or whenever they see it, it's the camera like going around Maverick.
Mm-hmm. It kind of does the spin in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a challenge to figure out, and Hearts of Steel kind of followed the same thing because I was under the impression that I could just put these transforming train figures onto like a plastic train track that came with the figures, and I could just simply pull them with a string. Well, when I did that, one of two things would happen. Either the train's wheels wouldn't spin, or they would drag the entire track with it. And I was like, well, crap, I can't film these trains the way I would, cars and stuff. I can't just put them on a hill and let them roll, and I can't pull the strings because the tracks just won't allow it. So I had to use the Maverick tactic and just do everything on a green screen. And at first, my thought process when it came to Hearts of Steel with just green screening the trains was, oh, it's green screen. It's going to look kind of not that convincing. It's not going to look grounded. And I said, well, what are the positives of this sort of negative decision that I had to do? And that was I could do a lot more over-the-top stuff. I could do a lot more speed. I could do a lot more like on-screen digital transformations and just a lot of stuff like that. So the biggest plus was with the trains moving digitally, I could digitally animate the control rod that is attached to the wheels that spins with them. I could actually have that move and spin, giving more sense of movement and speed. So that made me more comfortable with having the trains move digitally. And then I found a way to have trees and shrubs and rocks fly past the screen in front of the trains. Mm-hmm. So you have objects flying in between the train and the camera view to add even more speed. And it was figuring out that kind of stuff because the background had to move at a high speed. There had to be digital train tracks in the foreground. The trains had to be tracked to those, like the movement of the tracks. And it was figuring that out was a bit tough. And it was easier with Maverick because the planes hover. They don't have to be grounded or anything or imply weight to them. But the trains had to. And then there was the challenge of using, actual explosives where some of the trains got burned.
Yeah.
Some of the trains got burned, and when the shot would be set up, and then you'd have to trigger the explosive, and you realize you're too close to them, and your hands are getting burned because the sparks are going to them. I would definitely say Hearts of Steel was one of the more challenging ones for sure. But all projects will have like unique challenges, and even in the Hunter, the biggest challenge was actually filming with the RC that we were using, because we were using the weaponizer RC, which is the size of a deluxe. She's like almost taller than Mirage and Bumblebee, so for half of her shot she's kneeling. she's just like in a crouched or sitting position to kind of make her her scale look different. With Gigawatt 4, there's just a lot of challenges with making sure that like the weather is matching the context of the scenes. But definitely Hearts of Steel, trying to figure out the digital trains, was one of the more challenging projects to make.
I was gonna say, I want to add my own question. Not really question, but just something I want to think is interesting. One of my favorite things when it comes to TFI is when we're sitting there and think about things that should be challenging, and we're like in the pre-production phase, and we're like, oh god, this is going to be a hassle, and then it's not. Like one of my favorites is the entirety of Jurassic Spark. The entirety of pre-production, we were so worried about making the dinosaurs look real, and like, oh, this is going to be such a hassle to move dinosaurs. And then it was super easy. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
I'm going to be honest. Jurassic Park is the most fun I've ever had filming. I don't remember a single day that was stressful. Because some TFI shoots are more stressful than others.
Toys. No, there was whenever day you filmed the T-Rex, that was stressful because you were just sad. You broke the T-Rex and you were mad about it.
I was. I kind of gave up filming a shot because of it. Yeah. And then I just
did it digitally.
Yep. And yeah, Jurassic Park was the most fun. I don't remember any stress when filming that, but there was one project and it was starting to stress me out a lot, and that was actually Finest Hour. And that one was stressing me because of how long it was. It's like an hour and 3 seconds, and there's one scene that is a very long scene. It's not a boring scene because I love all the dialogue, but it was one scene in one location for a good like 10 minutes of the film, and it's Optimus and Megatron are talking, and then the knights come in and they tell the lore. That is in one location. And that was the longest filming day of my life. Somewhere in a parallel universe, that scene is still being shot. And that made me realize that scenes need, like, I need these films to have a lot of change in location. Because if a scene takes place in one location for too long, I'm going to get very, very sort of bored. And I'm not getting that sweet, sweet dopamine hit that I need. So it kind of stresses me out. God, Steeljaws is going to be a nightmare. The whole thing's on an aircraft carrier. But yes.
Yeah. The entire thing's going to be aircraft carrier or water.
Water. A water bottle. A bottle of water.
Bottle.
So
bottle of water.
And with, like, the Hunter, like I said, there were more complications. There was just a lot going on in like my life that kind of made production kind of drag on. But I'm glad the Hunter is out. I'm looking forward to talking about that next month with Cooler, right? But yeah, definitely, I think the most challenging film was Hearts of Steel, and Jurassic Spark being the most fun I've ever had shooting a film. When you would tell me, like, Sam, can we add, like, a small scene? I'd be like, yes, and I would just could not wait to film, and I miss it so much. Making Jurassic Spark, you have no idea. All right, so for today's shout out, MK has suggested this one, and this one goes to Lightpost Films on YouTube, and they did a very good. I really enjoyed watching it. A review of Jurassic Spark, and I definitely loved the review, and I loved all the humor throughout it. So yeah, it's Lightpost Films on YouTube. The episode is called Fandemic Season 4 Jurassic Spark, and
it's their most recent upload.
Yep, I almost sighed at one point because, like, the review was being given, and he said that he had some concerns with plot holes and such, but didn't elaborate. And I'm thinking, well, what were the plot holes? What were we missing? Like, I'm like, tell me what you didn't like. But he just didn't. I was like, all right.
I know he made a joke about it too. I feel like one of the big things, I don't know if this was his, but I know one of the big things is the dinosaurs being able to just hurt Cybertronians.
But they were shockwaves dinosaurs,
No, not all of them were. No, they weren't. The Dilophosauruses were not.
Hey, we can say that was Dilophocan. It exists.
Write that down. Oh, hey Sam, I actually have a question for the podcast.
Yeah.
Did you know they announced the Dilophocan?
Oh my god! No, they did a second Jurassic Park crossover figure? What? We know nothing about this. Oh god, I'm looking forward to using those figures. Dilophocan and what was it? JP? What was his name?
I don't know. I call him the Nedry figure.
The Nedry figure.
The Nedry Transformer.
All right. Hey, MK.
Yeah?
Thanks for getting the ball rolling on this.
Yeah, and now I can't wait to leave so we can go squash some bugs and deactivate some robots.
Yes, we're gonna hop in some Helldivers.
You guys should play some Helldivers. This is a fun game, good game.
Yes, we're gonna hop in some Helldivers and fight some bugs and robots. Very, very fun. All right, so this has been episode 10.
Add episode 9 to the playlist.
Did I not? Oh,
no,
crap.
You did
okay,
not.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, I haven't even added the Hunter to movie spinoffs yet. God, I'm so bad.
That just came out like a day ago. The podcast has been out for like a month.
Yeah, you're right. We're on episode 10. Wait, so there's 2 more episodes to go. We've been doing this for a year?
Yes. Wait. No, because it started in May.
No, it didn't. It started in June.
Oh, yeah, we started in June.
Yeah, because episode 2 was the TFCon one.
Yeah.
So, January,
No,
March,
no,
April.
no,
Wait.
no. We started May. Episode 3 was the TF Con. Don't confuse me with your bad memory. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so we will end it here. Thank you all for listening in. Again, 10th episode, MK again. Welcome back, by the way.
One episode for every year of TFI.
Oh yeah, it has. Oh, Jesus Christ, we're old.
I didn't join till... Oh shit! I joined 5 years ago. Oh, no, I joined 6 years ago.
Yeah, I'm 30 in a few months.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, why'd you say it like that?
Let's get you into the retirement home. Grandpa.
Okay, you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna go to your house. All right, guys, we are gonna call it here. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in March. Say it, MK. Say fare thee well. I dare you.
I'm not. That's your thing. I'm not stealing it from you.
Fare thee well.
That's how they said goodbye in his time.
Screw you.
Not even that. You're not even that much older than me.